Hello friends, welcome to my channel Mystery Grid Hub. Today's story comes from the freezing and remote lands of Siberia, from a tiny settlement called Kazynet, a place so small that it barely appears on maps. Surrounded by dense forests and silent mountains, Kazynet was home to only a few railway workers and their families. But on one cold night in August 1989, something happened here that shocked the entire country of Russia. A mystery so disturbing that the investigation had to be reopened multiple times. It was around 1:40 in the morning. A long freight train with dozens of wagons was moving through the dark forest toward Kazynet station. Inside the locomotive were two experienced train drivers, Vadim and Igor. As the train moved through the darkness, the powerful headlights suddenly revealed something lying on the railway tracks ahead. At first, the drivers couldn't understand what it was. Vadim immediately sounded the horn and slammed the emergency brakes. But the train was too long and too heavy. A few seconds later, the steel wheels rolled over something, and the sound they heard was not normal. The train finally stopped in the silent forest. The two brothers grabbed their lanterns and stepped down from the locomotive. Slowly, they began walking along the railway track. They expected to see an animal, but what they discovered under the dim lantern light froze them in place. Scattered across the railway tracks were human body parts. Something terrible had happened here. Soon, the police arrived and began searching the entire area. After hours of investigation, the victims were identified. They were 7 teenage boys, all around 15 years old, close friends who had gone into the forest for a weekend trip to collect cedar cones. Their names were Dmitry, Nikolai, Vadim, Oleg, Vyacheslav, Roman, and Victor. According to the police, this was simply a tragic accident. They claimed the boys were exhausted, lay down on the railway tracks, and fell asleep before the train arrived. But this explanation didn't make sense. Their backpacks were found 250 meters away, neatly placed beside the track, and none of the boys had alcohol in their system. To their families, something about this story felt terribly wrong. 2 years later, after continuous pressure from the victims' families, the case was finally reopened. A determined investigator named Vladimir was assigned to uncover the truth. But by that time, most of the evidence had already disappeared. Still, Vladimir decided to take a bold step. He ordered the bodies to be exhumed and re-examined, and what the forensic team discovered changed everything. The boys had not died because of the train. Before their bodies were placed on the tracks, they had been brutally beaten. Their skulls were fractured, their jaws were broken, their bodies showed signs of violent attacks with heavy tools. This was not an accident. This was murder. During the investigation, a railway worker finally broke down during interrogation. He revealed the horrifying truth. On the night of the incident, several local men were drinking heavily near the railway line. Among them was a police lieutenant named Nikolai. Later, they encountered the group of teenage boys waiting for their train. An argument started and quickly turned violent. In a moment of rage, the drunk men attacked the boys with tools and weapons. One by one, all 7 boys were killed. Realizing what they had done, the criminals made a horrifying decision. They placed the bodies on the railway tracks, hoping an approaching train would destroy the evidence. And a short time later, that train arrived. Years later, the case finally reached court. The killers were found guilty, but due to legal changes and the abolition of the death penalty in Russia, their punishment was far lighter than expected. For the families of the victims, true justice never came. Even today,
the quiet forests of Kazynet hold the memory of that terrifying night. A reminder that sometimes the most horrifying crimes are committed not by monsters, but by ordinary people who lose control. What do you think about this tragic and mysterious case? Write your thoughts in the comments section. And if you enjoy real mystery stories like this, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.